Hey guys! Today I'm going to do a ranking video of all the Syd Walker horror films. I've just recently reviewed them all on my channel, so today I'm going to rank them in order. So I'm going to do all 7 of the movies in the Syd Walker box set that's just come out. I'm also going to include House of the Long Shadows from 1983, which isn't in the box set, but with it being a horror film I'll include it. So that's 8 altogether. So what I'll do is I'll do them in reverse order, from number 8 to number 1. So let's get going. In 8th place, I've got The Flesh and Blood Show from 1972. So although this film I put in last place, I still want to say that it's a good film. All these films are good, there's not one bad one. So The Flesh and Blood Show, it's all about this murderer who's stalking these actors in a abandoned theatre. So the setting of the film is really good. It's an old abandoned theatre on a pier, and it's really atmospheric. There's lots of dark spots. So you see lots of point of view shots where people are getting stalked, and it's one of their mystery type of films that you don't know who the killer is. And what I like about it is the actual setting that these actors rehearse in a play. It reminds us a lot of a film called Stage Fright that had actors in a theatre production getting killed off. Only trouble with the film is the last section. He actually filmed it in 3D. So in the Blu-ray set you get these old 3D specs that you put on during the section that's filmed in 3D. And it didn't work for me. It was just more of a novelty. It was fun at first and then the novelty wore off. And it kind of drew us out of the film experience. So it spoilt the film for me. And that's partly why it's in last place. But it's still a good film. And you can watch the film, you have the option of watching it in 3D or not. So next time I'll not bother with the 3D. In 7th place, I've got The Comeback from 1978. So I've just recently reviewed this one. It's another murder mystery where you don't know who the killer is. And it's about this character who's making a comeback after 6 years. Played by Jack Jones. He's a singing musician. And he's renting this old manor house. And his wife has just been recently killed. So you kind of think that her ghost's haunting him as well as a killer. So it's a good film. The only trouble is Jack Jones, he plays this musician and he's not that good. He's a bit bland in the part. I wish they'd have got someone like David Bowie. He would have been perfect for the role. Also, the conclusion's disappointing. It wasn't very believable. But it does have a good last shot. I enjoyed the very last shot of the film. Thought that was very unusual. So that's in 7th place.
There's something strange about that place. I was frightened, terrified.
There are voices. Voices that fill the night with faceless fear and the grim promise of death.
In 6th place, I've got Die Screaming Marianne from 1971. And this stars Susan George. And she's brilliant in it. I thought it was a really good performance by her. And it has an interesting storyline. You're wondering what the hell's going on. It's more of a thriller than an actual horror film, this one. So it's more of a murder mystery. The only problem with the film is it would have been higher up if the pacing had been a bit better. It's a bit slow paced at times. And the ending's a bit abrupt. I was expecting a bit more to the film. But one of the good points about the film is it's been filmed abroad. And that added a lot to the film. It looked a lot more expensive with the footage abroad. Gave it a more glossier look. So that's 6th place, Die Screaming Marianne.
Do tell me. Did you fornicate with Marianne?
Balls.
In 5th place, I've got Skitso from 1976. So this film's a really underrated film about these murders, and it has a great twist at the end. It's also very violent at times. There's a lot of quite violent scenes. So this was just before the slasher films of the 1980s. And it's a lot like them films in a way, very violent and gory at times. And I thought Lynn Fendrick was really good. She stars in it, and she's getting stalked by this strange man played by Jack Watson. And everything's not quite what it seems. So there's lots of twists and turns. So really impressed by this film. I wasn't expecting much, but it surprised us. So that's Schizo in 5th place. In 4th place, I've got House of the Long Shadows from 1983. And this is the film that's not in the box set, but I've included it. And I've just recently re-watched this film for this video. I like it a lot more this time around. And I think it has the best cast of any horror film. It's got Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, Sheila Keith, John Carradine. And it's kind of an end of an era. This was Pete Walker's final film. And it's sort of the big three, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price. It's sort of their final curtain call, really. Although they went on to do other films, this is sort of like the last traditional type of British horror film that they did. And although the story's not great, it's more of a spoof of horror films. They all get the individual moments. I like that. There wasn't anyone left out. They all had good bits in the film. So it was a good final curtain call for them. So it's a special film in a way. So that's partly why it's in 4th place. So that's House of the Long Shadows in 4th place.
Congratulations, Bernard. What a fall. All the way down the stairs. Wonderful. But then you always were good at falling from a great height.
Can't compare, my dear Geoffrey, with your famous death scenes, which you have played so brilliantly for so many years, bitch.
Now we get on to the big three. So these 3 films are excellent. In 3rd place, I've got House of Mortal Sin from 1976. So this is about Anthony Sharp, who plays the Catholic priest. And he's stalking Susan Penhaligon. She goes to confess in one of his confessional boxes. And she tells him things, and he gets carried away about her. And he goes around stalking her and killing people. So this is a change of plot device where you actually know who the killer is. It's Anthony Sharp playing a priest. And Sheila Keith, she's also in. She does a good performance where she's looking after the priest's mother. And she's a right bitch, like badly treating her. But it's a great film, and it kind of shows how Catholic Church, there's a lot of perverts in it. Because they're not allowed to have sex, they turn perverted. But it also sums up the Catholic Church that they hide things. Like there's a lot of kids that have been molested by priests in the Catholic Church, and they cover it up. And it's interesting that at the end of the film, the priest gets away with it. And that kind of sums up the Catholic Church. So you can read a lot into this film about organised religion and the hypocrisy of it. So it's a really good film. So that's in 3rd place, House of Mortal Sin.
Look at me. I was the girl they all stared at. The one with the funny eye. What a shame, poor girl. She had an operation that went wrong.
No, you mustn't do this. I won't allow it.
In 2nd place, we've got House of Whipcord from 1974. So Sheila Keith's in again, and her and Patrick Barr, they have this deserted prison. He's an ex-judge, and they're wanting to punish people who have committed crimes, or in their eyes have committed crimes. So they've got all these girls that they've captured, and they put them in this prison, and they're actually whipping them and if they do anything more wrong, actually get hung. So they're killing off these prisoners, these girls that they've captured. And it's a really intense film, especially when this girl gets away and she gets a lift off this truck driver, and then she goes in sort of like unconscious for a while, and then he accidentally brings her back to the prison because he thinks it's an hospital. And then there's lots of moments where you say the prisoner's trying to escape, but they get captured again. So a really intense film. And Sheila gives a great performance, very sadistic. She seems to enjoy whipping the girls. And it's quite relevant today because of all these unfortunate people who've been put in prison. For instance, they might put a Facebook post up and they're getting put in prison for nothing. Whereas they're releasing all these paedophiles out of prison because they see it's overcrowded. So it's very relevant of today's times. So anyway, that's House of Whipcord in second place. And of course, in first place, and this is easily his best film in my opinion, I actually gave it a 10 out of 10 when I reviewed it. And that's Frightmare from 1974. And it's all about cannibalism. This woman played by Sheila again. She was in 5 of Pete Walker films. She's an actual cannibal. And her husband, played by Rupert Davis, he's looking after her, and she has these 2 daughters. And one of them's sending her packages of meat, trying to wean her off being a cannibal. However, it doesn't work out like that. And she has this other daughter that she converts to cannibalism. And it has a really disturbing, downbeat ending that I thought was excellent. And it was another brilliant script by David McGillivray. And he's wrote all the best Pete Walker films. Music once again by Stanley Myers. And Pete Walker seemed to get all these people behind the cameras as well as in front of the cameras. He liked to get the same group of actors and filmmakers together. And it really pays off. And this is an outstanding film, a proper classic. Great performances as well. So that's Frightmare, number 1.
You! Why did you let them?
So overall, there wasn't one bad film in this collection. And I was really surprised by how good they were, actually. And I think Pete Walker is an undervalued director. I think he got a bad name with all the sex comedy films that he did. However, his thriller horror films are really good. So hopefully with the box set that's just come out, people will reevaluate his work and appreciate his films. I actually think they're quite thought-provoking at times. There's a lot of detail and meaning to some of his films. For instance, House of Mortal Sin about the hypocrisy of the Catholic Church. House of Whipcord about innocent people getting put in prison. So you can see a lot of hidden meanings in his works. So it's not just an exploitation film. There's more to it than that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the ranking. And look out for more reviews coming soon. Anyway, like and subscribe. See you everybody. Bye. Bye.